Good morning. Good morning to our honorable guest, Honorable Mwandla, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to stand before you to deliver some thoughts and ideas on how planners can engage with the ocean. I think you've chose a city right on the edge of the ocean. You've enjoyed the space, and I hope that you do enjoy the ocean space. But I'll take some time to tell you about it and what more we can do to preserve it and to make it ocean lives more sustainable. So Valentine, please put that on presentation mode. I've been introduced. I've worked for about 23 years in the ocean. I started out working with grasses that grow in the sea. I don't know if people know that there are grasses that grow in the sea. I can show you, we are right at the beach, so I can take you for a walk later, should you want to know that there are grasses that grow just like the ones on land. But I've transitioned over time and done several things as I moved through life. And I'm currently leading Kenya on the Marine Spatial Planning Initiative. So it's been growth for me from working in the field, but I'll share some reflections from the field and what we see and what we aspire to have. So next slide. So that slide just shows us what we should aspire to as Africans, and more specifically as Kenyans. We know the AU has a blue economy agenda, which we probably don't look at many times, but we've been talking blue economy for Kenya for a few years now. And we have marine resources. The ocean is rich, but these resources are beginning to disappear. And as marine practitioners, we are worried. And we're looking towards creating a more sustainable space where we can coexist, resources, man, coexisting so that each one reaps the benefits. Next slide. I am the president of the Western Indian Ocean Marine Science Association, and this is an association of ocean scientists, marine scientists. We have been going strong for 28 years. And as WIOMSA and researchers, we work on aspects of SDG 14, life underwater, life below water, and all it entails. And one of the things we do as scientists is swim in the sea from time to time, collect samples. And as WIOMSA, we've built capacity to be able to engage with the sea, to look at it in labs, to look at it using different digital tools. And we are now progressing to look at ecological footprints using DNA to be able to get a drop of water and be able to characterize all the fish and all the organisms that are in that water space. So our technology has advanced, and we can tell a lot about the ocean from the work we have done. Can I have the next slide? And some of the things that the ocean tells us when we engage with it as researchers is the fact that it is suffering. Fishermen will tell you, and I think you've seen them in the press, saying that they don't get the fish they used to get. They say climate change, they say overfishing. We've seen pollutants. We've seen on many beaches, you see pollutants moving into the sea in a big way. We've seen rivers bring in plastics. So we've seen a great deal of change in our ocean space over time. What I saw when I started out my career is very different from what I see now. And I can tell you there are a few places that I'll go to and I'll be excited because they are biodiversity hotspots. So you can see that we've done a lot of things. And my reflection today for all of us is the fact that it all starts on land, where you and I live. It doesn't start in the ocean. I think the ocean is a recipient of everything that we do. Many of us consider it an endless space that can accommodate all the rubbish in the world. Anything, we say the ocean will take care of it. So it receives, but it's beginning to complain. It's beginning to shout and say, you know, enough is enough. So it all begins on land. From the trees we cut, from the sewage we dump, to the plastics that come in from our waste disposals, right into the sea. We have plastics, even microplastics getting into fish. These are microscopic plastics that are ingested by fish, and they come back to us, and we'll feed on them. So the next slide, please. And because it all starts on land, a few years ago, I did some work on beaches. And I just wanted to elaborate a bit more about beaches, because in Kenya we pride ourselves. We say we have the most beautiful beaches in the world. Diani, I think visitors come to Diani because of those white beaches. But we have to work to keep them white. Because what we found, we did a beach survey, and I worked on sediments, sediment profiling on beaches. And this was in Mombasa, from Nyali to Serena. And we found that the creeks brought in a lot of silica, a lot of sand. And if you look at Nyali Beach, a lot of that sand is deposited on Nyali Beach. So Nyali Beach will not be as white as the Diani Beach. It will not be as clean as Diani Beach. So our water pathways, which are the creeks that bring sediment from land whenever it rains, will be conduits of over-sedimentation that begin to destroy our beaches. And the composition of sand on those beaches, which we did microscopic analysis, we found a really, really high amount of silica. Beaches traditionally are made up of coralline sands, which is generated from the ocean, sand from the breakdown of coral skeletons, from the breakdown of algal skeletons. So that is what we can attribute the whiteness and the character of the beaches to. But all of a sudden we have beaches that are beginning to choke because they have a lot more sand. If you come out to Malindi, I'm not sure you'll see pure white sands, simply because we have the Sabaki and all the rivers. So it's browner. The beach sands in Malindi, maybe not here, but as you go out towards the creeks, the beach sands are browner. They're less, they also have their animals, but they're not the type of beach sands that will appeal to tourists. So as I say, it all starts on land. Very little about the ocean. It still starts on land. Can move to the next slide. And I think that is where planners come in, because you relate to the land. SDG 11 describes the work for planners, at least in my view and in my opinion, creating sustainable cities and communities. And I think it's very important that planners do the right thing on land. We need to start to set aside land for forests. We know we do it, but to push further, I think, for governance structures that can ensure that this land is kept. Because we cut down the forests, all that sand comes into the ocean. Do we plan for garbage? I'm not sure. When I've lived in Mombasa for a very long time, I'm not sure planners ever planned for garbage. Where do we take our garbage? Something else, so that the plastics don't end up in the sea, so the garbage does not end up in the ocean. Do we plan for stormwater? Do we plan for water pathways and conduits? What do we really plan for? Do we look at capacity of our land and advise on capabilities? And I think this is the work of planners. Because if we don't get it right on land, I'm not sure we'll get it right in the ocean. So we can move to the next. And so I see big opportunities on land for planners. And I know a lot of us, when we come to the coast, we are fixated on planning for the coastal counties. But I want to tell you that that planning has to start on Mount Kenya, the Kirinyaga County, all the counties up there. We have to get it right there. Because if we get it right there, we'll get it right downstream. Yeah? We have to scope and get it right, county spatial plans. We have to integrate all the things I've mentioned to take care of sewage, to take care of sedimentation, to take care of the things that are coming into our oceans that we are beginning to see and are beginning to worry us. And I know Lamu, I've just put one plan. I think Kilifi also has a spatial plan. I know there was work towards Kwale County. And yeah, so it's happening. But then I'm not sure whether we planned for garbage spaces, even in these plans. One needs to interrogate, and I know the plans are not static and can be redefined. I'm moving through a bit quickly to talk a bit about the other opportunity that planners have in the marine space, and that is planning for the occupants of the marine space through marine spatial planning. And I've put that picture there because there are many visible and invisible occupants of that space. If you come to a beach front like Jomo Kenyatta Public Beach, you'll find traders. Some places you'll find women doing aquaculture activities in the ocean, seaweed farming, for instance. You'll have fishermen, you'll have shipping routes. But under that lies a world that we don't see so often, a world of different types of animals, starfish, urchins, turtles, fish. But also every drop of water has life. So we need to plan for the sea in its entirety, what we can see and what lies underneath it. The next slide. So marine spatial planning is a journey that Kenya is embarking. We've received financing from the World Bank and technical support from the Nature Conservancy to begin this journey. And so we'll begin highlighting aspects of that journey in the coming months. It will be a program that we are running for 5 years. And what we look to seeing is a plan that accommodates aspects of the blue economy. So it should accommodate aquaculture, shipping, tourism, as well as communities. We have been talking big. We've been talking about windmills in the ocean. We've been talking about oil and gas extraction in the ocean. So that plan has to take care of those things and use science to be able to make those decisions. And the science is there. Even if there are gaps, I think we have we're in a good place to start. We have enough data to start a journey. And so there's still an opportunity for planners to come into the ocean space and work with us in these processes. And so as an association, WAMSA supports planning in several ways, and I'll highlight that. But we're looking for partnerships, as highlighted by SDG 17, partnerships that go beyond just networking, but doing meaningful work and activities. And we launched a project which Dr. Valentine leads on cities and coasts. And its aim is to improve scientific knowledge and research in coastal cities, to support capacity building and technical know-how on city planning, and to transform or transfer what planners originally do into the context of cities and also the marine space, and also to provide a collaborative platform for planners around coastal cities, collaborations with policymakers, private sector, civil society. And those are some of our reports. The first one having been launched at COP26 recently, a toolkit on measuring resilience of our cities. And I believe we will have the speakers in one of the sessions coming up in the following days. And we are recently launching the Coastal Cities Blue Economy document. We also have other opportunities for planners. From this meeting, we are aspiring to come up with a magazine from the interventions we've received from each one of you. We have a journal that has worldwide reach. So those that are studying, those that would like to engage in a scientific publication, we have space for that in different platforms. And we also provide a space for early career scientists through our network. We provide space for women planners. I see many, and I think this sector has done very well because the women have been many. And we have the Women in Marine Science Network as well. And then recently we launched the Western Indian Ocean Marine Protected Areas Network. So we have networks for collaboration, networks for meeting together and sharing ideas. Engaging in these networks means that you should become a member of WIOMSA. But if you're a student, that membership is free, and you can talk to Dr. Valentine to get to know how you can engage further. So I'd like to stop here by thanking you and also appealing to each one of you to do your part as planners, as citizens of this wonderful nation, to keep our oceans clean. Thank you.